almal, dit is Juffrou Nagel en hierdie is die dans van die Reën. So 'n lied van die vioolspeler Jan Konterdans uit die Groot Woestyn. So this poem just has like a title and a subtitle. So with the title, personificatie, it's personification throughout this whole poem. You'll see like with most of the notes as well. It is personification throughout the whole poem. And it just says that die Reën word voorgestel as 'n vrou sister. The Reën is being like represented as a woman. And within the poem, they call the woman the sister. The sister. Die Reën is 'n dansende vrou en ook 'n sister. Alles wat die sister Reën doen, kan met een woord saamgevat word dans. So it's literally saying that the Reën is like a dancing woman who's also like a sister, sibling, a family member of the people and the animals in the woestyn, in the desert. And everything that the Reën is doing, the sister is doing, is kind of like a dance towards the wedding. At this point, it would be a dance towards the Reën actually falling in the desert. And then subtitle, there's a subtitle. And like the whole story behind this is that there was no rain in the desert. And then this guy played his like instrument and then it started raining. So die gedig is 'n lied van blydskap oor die koms van die reën. So the song, or the poem is a song of joy about like about the joy of the rain. And then verwys na die plek waar die reën uitsak. It also just refers to where the rain is going to fall. And that's the Groot Woestyn, so in the great or the big desert. Just to show you, so the inkeping is the indentation. Now the indentation that we see in the first and third stanza focuses on the rain. So as you can see, like the movement of the rain. In the first stanza, it comes a little closer, then it goes back, comes a little closer, then it goes back. Where in the third stanza, it's just full on there. Like it's raining, it's close by, it's there. In the second stanza, it's about the animals that are actually moving towards the rain. So that's why there are some indentations there. And then alliterasie en herhaling van die S-klank. So the alliteration and the repetition of the S sound. Now important, as far as I understand, and I could be wrong, alliteration has to do with the consonants that a word starts with, right? But throughout this poem, there's a lot of S sounds that are actually repeated. Where they could have used something else, they used a word that had an S in. And that represents something specifically. So in strophe 1, so in the first stanza, every time there's like this repetition of the S sound, or alliteration of the S sound, die gesuis van die wind, it represents the sound that the wind makes. And then strophe 2 and 3, in stanza 2 and 3, where we have the S's, sis geluid van die reën, it's making that sh sound that the rain makes when it's falling. And then just the rest of the alliteration is in pink, and a little bit of assonance is in yellow. Okay, so let's read the poem. Die dans van die reën, lied van die vioolspeler Jan Konterdans uit die Groot Woestyn. O, die dans van ons sister. Eers oor die bergtop loer sy skelm, en haar oge is skaam, en sy lag saggies. En van ver af wink sy met die een hand. Haar armbande blink en haar krale skitter. Saggies roep sy. Sy vertel die wind van die dans, en sy nooi hulle uit, want die werf is wyd en die bruilof groot. Die groot wild jaag uit die vlakte, hulle dam op die biltop. Wyd rek hulle die neusgate, en hulle sluk die wind, en hulle buk om haar fyn spore op die sand te sien. Die klein volk diep onder die grond hoor die sleep van haar voete, en hulle kruip nader en sing saggies, ons sister, jy het gekom. En haar krale skud en haar koperringe blink in die wegrok van die son. Op haar voorkop is die vuurpluim van die berggier. Sy trap af van die hoogte. Sy sprei die volkoros met al 2 arms uit. Die asem van die wind raak weg. O, die dans van ons sister. So now the poem is just here again because we're going to talk about the typografie structuur bou, so the structure of the poem. So uiterlike bou, what it looks like. Not only do we have a title, but we have a subtitle as well. 3 strofes, there are 3 stanzas. 24 versreels, 24 lines. Inkeping, indentation. And then it's vrye vers. It is vrye vers because there's no set rhyme scheme. So the structure is vrye vers because there's no set rhyme scheme, geen vaste rymskema nie, en lengtes van die strofes en versreels verskil. The length of the stanzas and the lines differ. So as you can see once again with this poem, there actually is not really any like set structure, and that is why it is vrye vers. En dan innerlike bou, daar is progressie, there is progression. In the first stanza, we are aware that there is rain. Like, somewhere far in the distance there is rain, so raak bewus van die reën. Then in the second stanza, begin saggies reën and starts to rain quite softly. And then the third stanza, uiteindelik reën het oor die hele woestyn, it's eventually raining over the whole desert. And then just, die strofes wat korter word, beeld die nader kom van die reën uit. Eers is die reën ver, dan kom het nader en dan reën het. So it just says how each stanza, it has less and less lines. It represents the idea that the rain is coming closer. At first it's far away, then it comes closer, and then it's finally there. So in this poem, the spreker is a ek-spreker, a first-person speaker, and Jan Konterdans vioolspeler. He's part of the group of people who live in the desert. So he's part of the people celebrating, and he's telling it from his perspective. And also important within this poem, the speaker also talks about everyone and every living thing that is in the desert celebrating the rain coming. Then ruimte, so where it's happening, die groot woestyn, die Kalahari. Theme, joy about rain, blydskap oor die reën. Boodskap, the message of the poem. Ons moet dankbaar of bly wees oor die reën, so we have to be thankful and happy when there is rain. In die gedig is die woestynbewoners bly en dankbaar oor die reën en die droogte. So it just says in this poem specifically, the people and the animals and the insects and every living thing that lives in the desert, they are happy and thankful that there's rain after a drought. Like the tone of the speaker in the poem. So it's gelukkig, they are happy, dankbaar, they are thankful, vreugdevol, they have joy. And then stemming is basically kind of the mood of the poem. So begin rustig, it starts calm, talking about the rain being far away. Maar soos die gedig vorder, ervaar die leser ook die opgewondenheid oor die reën wat nader kom. As the poem progresses, ourselves as the reader, we also experience the joy about the rain that is coming closer. So I'll try and translate as much as possible. This is a very loose translation, just keep that in mind as well. But yeah, and each stanza has been broken up into 2 slides. So it just starts with oor die dans van ons sister. So, oh, the dance of our sister. So oor, the O is an uitroep van blydskap. Spreker is bly oor die reën. It's like an exclamation of joy. And the speaker is happy about the possibility of rain coming. Ons sister is personifikasie metafoor. So anytime they speak about sister, our sister, it is a metaphor because they are saying the sister is the rain. And it's also personification, obviously. And it just says, as well, die sister is die reën en soos 'n vrou bring die reën lewe. So it also kind of alludes to the idea that the rain is being represented as a woman, because in essence women bring forth life, and with rain as well, after rain, there's kind of rebirth, there's new life that happens after rain. And then hoofletter, capital letter, wys woestynbewoners respek en beklemtoon haar belangrikheid. So it just says, the fact that sister the whole time is written with a capital letter kind of shows us how much respect all living creatures or people in the desert have for the rain. And then also it emphasizes the rain's importance, the sister's importance. And then 'n uitroepteken, there's an exclamation mark. Beklemtoon, opgewondenheid, it's just emphasizing the joy. And then eers is in versie. So that line, eers oor die bergtop loer sy skelm, it says, first over the mountain top, she peeps. Is slyly a word? Sly peep. You know what I mean. So it's in versie because you wouldn't usually put eers first. And the reason we do that is beklemtoon die manier waarop sy kyk nog ver weg. It's just emphasizing that she's just kind of peeking, She's not close by yet. She's just maybe over a mountaintop. She's just peeping to see what's happening on the other side. And then loer, so it's basically saying the rain is peeping, right? That is personifikasie, maar reën is nog ver weg, kan weerlig en wolke sien. So the fact that the people in the desert is they are aware that there is this chance of rain, it is because although she's a little bit shy and she's not showing herself completely, they can see lightning and clouds far away. Okay, so that's just what the personification kind of means. Like the rain is far away, but there's like a chance that it might rain because you can see the clouds and you can see the lightning. So haar oge is skaam. So just my oge is eyes, oor. So it just says her eyes are shy, and that once again is personifikasie. Because, well, the rain can't have eyes, right? So remember, yeah, we talk, although it's a sister, it's like the rain. Rain can't have eyes. Rain can't peep at you. So, Reën miskien ver weg, maar nog nie hard nie. So it's just saying that her eyes are a little bit shy, and that might indicate that somewhere far away it's like maybe raining a little bit, but it's not raining hard yet, and it's not raining there in the desert. It's somewhere outside the desert where it's raining, and you can just see that there is rain there. Then there's like a little space. I didn't do this for everyone because there's quite a lot of indentation in this poem. But it just says inkeping, beklemtoon die tekens van die reën wat nader kom. It's just emphasizing like the signs that the rain is coming closer. Sy lag saggies, personifikasie, so she laughs softly. This refers to the fact that there's thunder, so donderweer. So where die sagte gerammel van donderweer, you hear the soft rumbling of thunder. En dan versels 2 tot 4, Reën is nog ver weg en word as 'n jong vrou voorgestel wat loer en lag. Nog nie definitief dat dit gaan reën nie. So it just says, rain is so far away and it's being represented as like a young woman that is like peeping and laughing softly and stuff like that and is quite shy. So what that means is it's not definite that it's going to rain yet. Like there's a chance, but it's not definite. En veraf wink sy met die een aan. So it says, and from far away she waves with the one hand. So wink met die een hand is personifikasie, personification. Roep die woestynbewoners na die groot gebeurtenis, teken dat sy op pad is. So yeah, there's kind of a sign where she's saying, you know, come closer to all living things in the desert. And she's kind of like inviting them to this like thing that she's going to do. In other words, rain. Like she's going to rain. That's the thing that she's going to do. And this is just a sign that she's on her way. Haar armbande blink en haar krale skitter. So that like translates to her bracelets are sparkling and her beads are also sparkling, because blink and skitter are basically the same thing, right? So it's a metaphor, it's a metaphor, figuurlike betekenis, juwele equals welig. So they're saying here that her jewelry that she's wearing that is shining, that is sparkly, is the lightning. So sien die weerlig in die verte, so you can see the lightning from far away, and it uses those words like wink and blink and skitter. And then sigsintuig, it uses your, like, it's sights that we use here, the sense that we use. So then saggies roep sy is like softly she calls, and that's personifikasie. Hoor die sag gerammel van die donderweer, nog ver gehoor sintuig. So once again, you can hear the soft rumbling of thunder, so it's still far away, and here we're using the sense of hearing. Sy vertel die wind van die dans, so it says she tells the wind about the dance. So with die wind van die dans, the wind just starts to like blow, so die wind begin waai. And then from line 8 to line 9 is personifikasie, because going into line 9 it says, and she invites them because the yard is big and the wedding, or the yard is wide and the wedding is big. So personifikasie, personification, Suster Reën gaan met die aarde woestyn trou. So like the whole idea here is that the rain, the sister, is going to marry earth, the desert, okay, by raining. That's how the marriage is going to happen, right? They're going to become one, sort of. En sy nooi almal uit na die groot geleentheid bruilof, so she's also inviting everyone to this massive like event, because at the end of the day, everyone's going to benefit from it raining in the desert. So the bruilof, just again, bruilof refers to like a troue, a wedding. And then 6 acties wat die reën se koms as subtiel beskryf. So in the first stanza, we have 6 actions that kind of describes the rain's like appearance as subtle, like it's not very obvious. So it's those words in line 2, like loer, she's peeping. Lag saggies in line 4, she's laughing softly. Wink, line 5, she's waving them over. Roep, line 7, she's calling them. 8, or in line 8, vertel, she tells them about the dance that's happening, about the wedding that's happening. And then in line 9 we have nooi, which like she invites them to this. Okay, this is the second stanza now. So strofe 2, ons sien nou die reaksie van die natuur op die reën wat kom. So now we see the reaction of the rain, of the nature on the rain that is going to come. Well, it's already kind of there, but it's just not like, it's more like drizzling now as opposed to full on raining. So die groot wild jaag uit die vlaktes. So it just says that the great wild or the big wild speeds out of like the areas that's there in the desert. So die groot wilde diere jaag nader om die geleentheid te aanskou. So it's just saying the big wild animals are like rushing closer to see this massive event that's going to happen. Versreëls 10 tot 14, so line 10 to 14. Die groot wild beleef die geleentheid van die reën wat kom met hul sintuie, ryk, voel, proe en sien. So it just says the big wild animals are using their senses to experience this, to experience the rain that is coming after drought. They use they smell, they feel, they taste, and they see. And then hulle dam op die biltop, it just translates to like they gather on like the mountaintop. So not a mountain, yeah, like the hilltop. So hulle kom by mekaar, vergader op die hoogste top, so they get together, they have like a gathering at the highest point on the hill. And then wyd trek hulle die neusgate en hulle sluk die wind. So wide their nostrils stretch, they what's slick? They swallow the wind. And then line 14 says they bend down to see her fine steps. Footsteps on the sand. So what we have here with all the blue, like neusgate, which is like your nose, slik is a mouth, and sien, which is see. It just talks again about sintuiglike waarneming, which is using your senses to observe something. In this case, the big wild animals are using multiple senses to experience the rain that is arriving. So it just says ryk is the reuksintuig. So just be aware of this as well. Ryk is the verb, reuksintuig is like the sense, like scent, smell, right? Then voel is like they can feel the rain. It's tas sintuig. Proe, taste is smaak sintuig, taste. And sien, see, sig sintuig. So just be aware of those words. The one is the verb, and the other one is kind of like the noun for the sense. And then just when they're stretching their nostrils, hulle ryk die reën, they can smell the rain. And they are swallowing the wind. Hulle voel die wind waai nou sterk, so they can feel the wind, and the wind is like quite strong now. And then when they bend down to see her footsteps on the sand, hulle kyk eerbiedig na die kleinste/eerste druppels op die grond val. So they kind of bend down to show like honor and that they are thankful for this. And they are looking at the smallest, the first drops of the rain that's falling on the sand. So book just says wys eerbied, so they are showing kind of like honor, like they are very thankful and yeah, for the rain. And fyn spore, so it's like fine footprints. Fyn druppeltjies op die sand, die suster/reën se voetspore. So it's just like, when it starts to drizzle, and maybe like, I've never been in a desert, but like on the beach, you will first see like the fine little like droplets in the sand. And that's just referring to like, she's there, like she has arrived. It is the rain, the sister's footsteps. Still part of stanza 2. Die klein volk diep onder die grond hoor die sleep van haar voete. So it says, the little folk, like the little animals, deep under the ground, hear the dragging of her feet. So die klein volk, it just refers to insekte en diere onder die grond is ook bewus van die reën wat nader kom. So it just says that the insects and other animals, smaller animals that live underground, are also aware of the fact that there is rain. And then when they can hear the dragging of her feet, it's gehoorsintuig. It's using like your hearing. Die insekte hoor die reën op die grond val. They can literally underground, they can hear the raindrops falling on the sand. And then this refers to in hulle kruip nader en sing saggies. So they crawl closer and they sing softly. So the kruip nader, crawling. Hulle beweeg eerbiedig nader en sing respectful. So they are moving closer in quite an honorable way to show honor once again. And they are singing quite respectfully. So sing saggies, verwelkom die reën met hulle sagte stemmetjies. It's just saying like they're welcoming the rain with their soft voices. And then there's a double pint, a colon. Vreugdevolle woorde dat hulle sing. What follows is like the joyful words that they are singing, that the rain is here. Line 17 just translates to, our sister, you have arrived, you have arrived. So the quotation marks just says directe woorde van die klein volk. It's the direct words of the little folk. So obviously also, I didn't add this in here, but that would in essence be personification because insects can't talk. Okay, but it's just like the direct words because they are so happy. And then once again, hoofletters, capital letters. Respecteer haar en haar belangrikheid word beklemtoon. So they have a lot of respect for the sister, for the rain, and they are emphasizing her importance. And then the herhaling, the repetition of ons suster, jy het gekom, tye op blydskap, it just indicates to the joy that everyone in the desert, and every living thing in the desert's experiencing because of the rain. So this is the last stanza. En haar krale skud, so it says, and her beads are shaking. So metaphor, it's a metaphor. It says the beads that are shaking is thunder. Okay, so once again, we can hear the thunder, but this time it's louder because it is shaking. And then, en haar koperringe blink in die wegrok van die son. It says, her copper rings shine in the disappearing of the sun. So koperringe blink is a metaphor. It's a metaphor because it's saying her copper rings are lightning. Okay, so koperringe weerlig, daar is nou baie weerlig. There's a lot more lightning. It's much more visible than it was before. And then in die wegrok van die son, it just says die son verdwyn agter die wolke. The clouds are moving in front of the sun, and therefore the sun is disappearing behind the clouds. And then it says, op haar voorkop is die vuurpluim van die berggier. So on her forehead is the fire plume, I think I'm saying that word right, of the berggier is like an arend, an eagle. It's like a mountain eagle. Is that a thing? I think so. So, the whole of line 20, die sister dra nou die kroon van die bergarend, hoof focus sy is die bruid. So, it's kind of referring to the idea, like, listen, I don't know what a mountain eagle thingy like looks like, right? But it says apparently it has kind of like, around its face, it has like these red-ish, orange-ish, yellow-ish, like feathers. So, what it's just saying is, now the sister is like wearing the crown of this eagle because she is the main focus. She is the bride. Why would someone else wear the crown if she is the bride? And then die vuurpluim. So the vuurpluim, using that word specifically, although it does refer to the color of the feathers on the eagle, it also just refers to the color of the sun. So die son se kleur is rooi, soos rooi geel vere van die bergarend kleur. So it just says the color of the sun as it's disappearing behind the clouds is similar to this red-ish, yellow-orange color of the feathers of the eagle. And then this I just added with, like, I didn't read this anyway, but this is just like how I interpreted it. So not necessarily right, but I've just added it in. So, die droogte is nou verby omdat het reën. Met ander woorde, die sister is nou in beheer. So how I interpreted this is by saying that she has taken the crown from the mountain eagle, because the drought is over, because she has arrived. She is now the one that is in charge. En die bergarend kan nie meer maklik prooi vang wat swak as gevolg van die droogte was nie. So what it kind of to me means is that now, you know, like obviously when there's a drought, predators can catch, like, well, especially like those like eagles and, well, okay, eagle's not a vulture, but you understand what I'm saying? They can get like prey quite easily because they are weak. They are, is it not prey? It's not prey, is it prey? Predator prey, yes. Because they are weak. But now that there's Reën, she is the one with the power because she has given the power back, okay, to the animals that would have been caught, that would have been eaten probably by this like animal, by this bird. So that's how I interpreted that. It could be completely wrong, but that's just how I see it. She has replaced the mountain eagle as the person in charge because now there's Reën. Therefore, there will be more life and not more death, which along with the eagle, there would have been death because it would have caught prey because it is like a predator. That might have been too deep of an interpretation, but anyways. And then sy trap af van die hoogte, so it says she steps down from like the step, like a higher step. So also just for line 21, 22, and 23. Ons sien hoe die reën oor die hele woestyn uitsak. We kind of see, like, this is representing the whole idea of visually, like, trying to see how the rain is, like, over the whole desert. Die bruid slash sister, of sister slash Reën het nou opgedaag, dit reën oor die hele vlakte. It just says now the bride has arrived, the rain has arrived. It's raining over the whole desert. Then it says, sy sprei die val karos met al twee arms uit. So it says she spreads the val basically means like grayish, like it's like there's no color. Karos out with both hands. So sy tree nou selfversekerd op versus terug vir een waar sy skaam was. Just know that here she's actually spreading her arms out and she's kind of like showing everyone that she's here. And if you contrast that to the first stanza, she was shy. She, you know, she was hiding behind mountaintops and stuff like that. And then just 'n karos is 'n kombers van dierevelle wat oopgegooi word oor 'n groot gebied. So in this case, 'n karos is basically like a a blanket that is made from stitching together different like animal skin, and usually it would be opened up over like a big area. And in this case, it kind of refers to the idea that the goddess, this like blanket that she's wearing, is her wedding dress. Okay, so bruidskleed, bruidsrok, it's her wedding dress. Die reendruppels, the raindrops are representing her dress that she's opening up over everyone. You know, because she is a bride, she has arrived. Everyone should focus on her. And then the awesome funny wind raak weg, the breath of the wind disappears. So it's personifikasie, die wind hou op met waai en die reën sak nog harder uit. So the wind stops blowing and it starts raining harder. And then line 24, oor die dans van ons sister, oh the dance of our sister, it's herhaling, repetition. The fact that lines 1 and like 24, the one we open the poem with and the one we close the poem with, is the same, it kind of like binds the poem and makes it a whole, like it makes it one. And then oor just again indicates joy, blydskap. Uitroepteken, the exclamation mark. Almost baie opgewonde oor die reën se koms. Everyone is really excited about the rain that is here. And then just for lines 20 to 24, die suster oorheers die hele toneel. Sorry, that's supposed to be an L, not an R. Climax van die gedig, bruid arriveer vertroue. So it just says like the sister is in control of everything in this scene. Like she is the main star, she is the focus. This is the climax of the poem. Because the bride, the bride has arrived for the wedding. And then inkeping, the indentation in the third stanza specifically, beklemtoon die reën en stel visueel voor. It's emphasizing the rain and it's showing it or representing it to us visually. Okay, I hope this helped. This was quite rushed. I think I stumbled over my words a lot with this explanation. I'm just putting this up now. If there's a lot of like mistakes afterwards, I might upload a new one. But I hope it can help y'all in any way. And then yeah, totsiens almal.